Welcome to episode 3 of me continuing a book series I'm in the middle of. Hello, and thank y'all so much for clicking on today's video. I am super excited to get reading and dive back into the multiple book series I'm in the middle of, which, speaking of, I am going to be referencing my series tracker that I keep in my reading journal, and I'll show you all this probably later. But as an update, I'm currently in the middle of 15 book series, which if you watched the previous 2 episodes, this number somehow just keeps getting higher. I don't understand how, which I do understand. It's because I keep starting more series, but I'm making progress still, and that's all that matters. But let me share the 2 series I have started just to introduce them to y'all. I recently picked up Dance of Thieves. This is a duology, so I only have 1 book to be caught up here. But then I also picked up the Zodiac Academy series, which has like 14 books or something crazy. So that brings us to a total of 15 book series I'm currently in the middle of. With that being said, I don't have time to chit chat. I need to get reading. So if y'all don't mind, I'm going to briefly introduce the 3 books I plan on reading in today's video, starting with The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. This is the 4th book that follows the Truly Devious trilogy. It was supposed to just be 3 books, but Maureen Johnson decided to continue in this world. So although this is a standalone, I'm just counting it as a series of 5. And as always, no spoilers here. So I'm just gonna give y'all a vague synopsis of what the first book is about. We are following Stevie Bell as she attends Ellingham Academy. And that is a school for like the best and the brightest students that have a specific interest. So our girl Stevie is really interested in true crime and solving mysteries, which she definitely gets up to that in this academy. But in this book, I believe it actually takes place at a summer camp. So we are moving locations. I don't think this is gonna give me the fall vibes that I wanted to, but that's okay, that's on me. So specifically in this book, Stevie gets a message from the owner of this camp, which is notorious for the unsolved Box in the Woods case where 4 camp counselors were killed. So she's gonna go there, she's gonna have her hands full. And if it's anything like the previous 3 books, so much more is going to unravel. And then I'm not gonna get into the synopses of these next 2 books, but I do plan on picking up Vow of Thieves, which is the 2nd book after this. I don't physically own it, which is why I'm sharing this, but I do plan on audiobooking it. And then last but not least for this video, I plan on getting my heart ripped out of my chest and picking up Taming 7. Yeah, like I said, we'll introduce these books later. For now, I'm going to start The Box in the Woods. I have made it to my stopping point of the night, and that is chapter 4, page 71, and I'm really happy with that progress. And I'm not stopping because I'm bored or anything, but because I'm getting sleepy and it's past my bedtime. I was actually immediately hooked because it goes back and forth with the timelines of Stevie trying to solve the case and the case itself. And this one is set in 1978. So number one, it wasn't that long ago. Like in the murder mystery, they're getting stoned and listening to Fleetwood Mac, which love that for them. But number two, this wasn't that long ago, so people are still alive from it. They've alluded that she's going to be able to talk to some like witnesses. So I'm excited for that because the case at Ellingham Academy was like in the 30s. So obviously they were not as relevant. But those are my initial thoughts. I'm so excited to see this unravel. And I'm excited to see how I rate this because I want to say I rated each book in this original trilogy like higher than the last. So we'll see if this one continues the trend. I'll see y'all tomorrow for some more reading. Hello guys, happy sleepover night. And if you're new here or just don't know what that means, it's essentially where me and my husband stay up late on Friday nights. And I'm talking like midnight, nothing crazy, but he spends the night playing video games and I try and read as much as possible. And it's just something to look forward to throughout the week. And it's an excuse to crack open an energy drink late at night. Plus, my husband made peanut butter cookies, so that is a win. It is already 8:40, so we have gotten started. I'm on chapter 8, which is page 121. Also, I want to show y'all my cutie little bookmark. It is Taylor Swift, Right Where You Left Me, one of my favorite songs. And it's one of those magnetic bookmarks, so I just love it so much. Also, I wanted to talk about the clips y'all saw before this, which was when I was updating my reading journal. I had so much fun doing that. I think because I was going more in depth with that fall new releases spread. I also want to film more content like that because I just had a blast. So I hope y'all also enjoyed. Now I'm going to keep this sleepover going with drinking my witch's brew and reading my book, and I will update y'all later. Right, I have switched to reading on my Kindle because this is on KU if you were wondering, and I have about an hour left, and I think we're about to find out who did it, and I really have no clue what direction this is gonna go, but I'm so excited. So let's figure this out. Never in a million years would I have guessed any of this. Oh hey, didn't see y'all there. It has been quite a few days since I last filmed. I have had a very hectic work week. I actually just got back from a work event, which is why I'm dressed as a witch. But yeah, if you didn't know, I work a 8 to 5, and this week has just been one of those weeks. But I'm here to pick back up the vlog, and I want to discuss 2 books because I have finished one and started another. First, let's discuss The Box in the Woods. I started this video off physically reading this, and I love the series and these characters, and I actually really enjoyed this mystery up until the end, and the ending was batshit crazy. It was so out of left field. Like, nobody could have ever guessed this. Nobody. And I actually don't prefer my mysteries to be like that. I want them to seem realistic, and like I could have guessed it, but like just barely I didn't. And that was just not the case here. I want to talk to people that have read this, but I don't know anyone, so. If you've by chance read this, put a spoiler warning, but I do want to talk in the comments because this was crazy. I think I'm giving it a 3.5 stars. And then instead of picking up the audio, I told y'all I was going to Vow of Thieves, the second book after Dance of Thieves. I decided to pick up 9 Liars. It is the book that comes after The Box in the Woods. I was having a fun time and wasn't ready to say goodbye to these characters. It was available as an audiobook through my Libby, so I just went ahead and picked it up. So that is how I'm consuming this, but I am this far in. I'm honestly pretty close to finishing, I'm on page 291, which is chapter 20, and I need to tell y'all the synopsis for this. I'm not gonna tell y'all anything about Stevie Bell or her friends or how they ended up in this location because that is part of the storyline. We are on book 5 at this point, but it could be considered a standalone. Whatever, I'm just going to be explaining the murder mystery to y'all. It is a double murder cold case. In 1995, 9 friends from Cambridge University went to a country house and played a drunken game of hide and seek. 2 were found in the woodshed the next day, murdered with an axe. The case was assumed to be a burglary gone wrong, but one of the remaining 7 saw something she can't explain. This was no break-in. Someone's lying about what happened in the woodshed. So yeah, we are introduced to the mystery because this is like past and present timeline, which I love that it feels like you're fully there, immersed in the past timeline when, you know, the mystery was taking place. And at first I was skeptical of having 9 main characters. I was like, I'm not going to keep track of them. And to be honest, I still am not fully keeping track of them. For instance, the 9 is what this friend group calls themselves. And their names are Sebastian, Theodora, Yash, Peter, Suze, Angela, Julian, Rosie, and Noelle. And I'm listening to it as an audio. They all kind of sound the same. They've all dated each other. It is quite confusing, I won't lie. But then 2 of them die, so I mean, that makes it a little easier. But I think I have about 2 hours left on audio, and it is currently 8 p.m. So I'm gonna try and finish this tonight, and I will update y'all tomorrow with my final thoughts. Also, tomorrow is Halloween. I don't think I mentioned that. But yeah, context. Hello friends, a long time no talk. I have many updates to share, so let's just get started. Number 1, I got my hair done. I dyed it darker. I have been blonde my whole life, but for the past year I have been going darker, trying to match my roots and whatnot, and it has been a process. So if my hair looked terrible at the beginning of this video, just pretend it didn't. Pretend it looked like this the whole time. Second update, I haven't talked to y'all in a week. I have literally not picked up the camera or a physical book in a week, but I have a very good reason. And that reason is I have a new baby nephew in the family. Yes, my sister just had her second, so she is 2 under 2, and I don't live in my hometown. I live away from my family, so I have been traveling pretty often to go spend time with them, and it was great. So yeah, not too many book updates to share, but let me walk y'all through. So I left a week ago in the middle of Taming 7. I think I only picked this up once. I'm currently on page 80, which is chapter 9. I've been reading this on my Kindle and it says I'm 20% through. So it doesn't look like I've read a lot, but I have. And I have been loving this. I love these characters so freaking much. This book is so different compared to the others. This is the first book in the series where our characters have history. They grew up together, so they're not like meeting for the first time, and it's different, and I'm loving it so much. I cannot wait to continue. Honestly, I just want to pick this up and binge read it, but we'll get to that. So when I left town, I knew I had a 5-hour drive ahead of me, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick up a random book from my TBR and not include it in this video. And my choice was Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. Obviously this is not a part of a series, so I was not going to include it in the video, but I got 1 chapter in and I was like, no, not doing this, not for me, DNF. I just immediately did not like the vibes. I didn't like our main character. It was just not a match, which is okay. That's all right. So I put this down and I was like, okay, let me look at my library. What audiobooks do I have? And I had the second Zodiac Academy book, Ruthless Fae, because I had previously started this. I was only like 2 chapters in, but I decided to pick it back up, and because it is part of a series, I figured I would share. To be honest, I wish I would have picked up the camera to tell y'all my thoughts as I read this, because at this point now I have finished it, but it was just crazy. It was seriously a night and day difference between the first book in the series and this one. If you did not watch that vlog, I hated the first book. It was so bad. I think I gave it like a 2.5 stars, but my best friend loves this series and I told her I would give the first 2 books a chance. So picked this up not thinking that much about it, and it was so much better. It was much more fun. In that first book, we're not having any fun. Like literally all of the other characters are out to get our 2 main character girls because they're twins in this new school and this new Fae world. Lots going on there. But okay, sorry, the cats were fighting below the camera, so if it's moved, that's why. But back to what I was saying, this book, so much better. Like, I think I'll give this a 4 stars. I was laughing so hard, I was having so much fun. Our main characters were getting a bit of revenge and I was so excited for them. And yeah, there is my random update on book 2 of Zodiac Academy. I know I did not read this alongside y'all, but figured I would talk about it since I have y'all, and you know, it's a part of a series. That is enough talking. It is currently 4 p.m. on Saturday, so I have the rest of today and all of Sunday to read as much as I want, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit on the couch with my Kindle and my Kindle stand, and I'm not going to move until this book is done. It is a few days later since we last spoke. I'm just really taking my time with this book, not rushing through it, but I am on page 290, which is a decent amount through, and it is Halloween night, and I was really excited, and then I just read the title of this chapter because each chapter is titled, which I love, but like I don't think this is gonna be a fun chapter, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm having fun, but I think it's going to get worse before maybe it gets better. But yeah, so far 5 stars. Obviously, I love these characters so much. I have 40 pages left, and I'm definitely going to be crying, so. I'm so glad that I have the next book already lined up, because if I finished this and didn't have that, I would be not very happy. Although I'm sure that book doesn't pick up where this one leaves off. I just know that there's overlapping timelines, and I'm probably not going to get the answers I want until the end of that book, but that's okay. At least there's one out there for me to read next. I don't usually talk to y'all right after finishing a book, but I'm in the mood to. My thoughts on this are kind of all over the place because I loved it. I love these characters, 5 stars, but also like there were some plot points that just completely never got brought up again. Not super pleased with the ending, especially knowing the next book right after isn't another Claire and Gibbsy book. Also, I'm leaving this book hating Lizzie. Like, I'm sure I will find a way to love her, and I'm sure I'll see a part of myself in her, but at this moment, reading from a different point of view, I cannot stand her, and I was just waiting that entire book for someone to put her in her place because I was so pissed off. Those are my final thoughts, and I'm actually going to say goodbye to y'all here. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'm glad I got caught up with the Truly Devious series, and then I made some progress with Boys of Tommen. So that is a win. Until next time, I will see y'all later. Bye guys.